Mike, and you're listening to Pyrophoric Radio, and I'm here with Greg of The Devastated. So, Greg, you are on tour with Shadows Fall and Fear Factory. How was the show in Chicago about, what, was it 2 weeks ago?
Excellent. We had the early slot tonight. We had the first slot, but it was still a great show. The crowd was extremely receptive of us, and you could just feel it. It was good. You know.
That's awesome. And how has the rest of the tour been with Fear Factory and Shadows Fall so far, the dates before and, well, up to now?
It's been awesome. You know, it's a pleasure to tour with such, world-renowned bands. You know, I've looked up to Fear Factory and Shadows Fall for a really long time, so it's awesome to be able to tour with them, and it's awesome to be able to play in front of their audience, and it seems like we're doing good. We've been accepted, and it's going great.
And you guys have been touring a lot lately with the Browning, who was also on the tour with you guys. Have you guys been enjoying touring together and just touring overall? Because I know you guys have been touring a lot, and that's pretty impressive, because I think you guys have been in Chicago at least 3 times in 2011.
Oh yeah, I love being on the road. I love meeting new people and seeing new places. It's great, Just having a record that dropped 3 months ago and staying really busy is great. We feel good. We want to stay on the road as long as we can.
All right, and I know a lot of metal bands don't like to listen to metal all the time, especially when on the road and they're having those long trips, because you guys are playing metal 24/7. But what do you guys like to listen to while you guys are on the road?
Yeah, we don't listen to metal at all. We listen to each other bitch a lot. So I don't know if there's any soundtrack for that. I don't know. I'm just messing around, but if I listen to metal, it's like older stuff. I listen to like Those Poor Bastards personally a lot. It's kind of like country doom, and I know Eric listens to a lot of piano music and Regina Spektor and Amanda Palmer, and so we're always listening to different stuff because when you're at a show and it's really loud and you're listening to metal all the time, it's nice to kind of get a break when you're hanging out by yourself. So yeah.
And just a quick history lesson: how did you guys get together? Because I know sometimes new fans are interested in knowing that kind of information.
The band formed, myself and Eric in high school started a band called Oblige, and we did that for years. We did some good tours and and all that, and then eventually let's see, the members of Oblige kind of like were hanging tight at home for a while. We decided we wanted to continue writing music, so we started writing new music, and we had new members come in, a couple members from Impending Doom at that time. And at that point, we decided we wanted to treat it as something fresh rather than resurrecting an old thing. So we decided let's kind of let Oblige be Oblige, and let's treat this as a completely new entity, which ended up being The Devastated. And we kind of just went from there. So the first record came on Central Media 3 months ago, and we've just been full blown ever since, just touring and trying to get the name out there.
Did you ever think you guys were going to get this far as you got in with the new album out and signed to Century Media?
Not to sound arrogant, but yes, because I never half-ass anything in my life. So if I do something it's full-fledged, and in the back of my mind, I feel that we would get exactly where we're at right now, and I truly feel that we'll continue to drive forward.
All right, well, we'll be right back with some more here with Greg of The Devastated, but stick around for some music from The Devastated up next here on Pyrophoric Radio. So, Greg, earlier you were telling us how you don't listen to much metal on the road, but is it just because you don't listen to a lot of metal? I would, well, not me and myself, but some people would just assume that you don't like metal, but you're in a metal band, of course. But my question is, how do you feel about the current metal scene everywhere?
I love heavy metal. I'm always going to love heavy metal, as long as it's a true form of expression. I think my problem with heavy metal nowadays is it seems like people are doing it because it's almost trendy in a way, and I'm not down for that. Like, if you're not on stage, you're not really feeling and screaming, and if you're just going through the motions, then I'm not about it. There's still metal bands out there nowadays that really are putting forth, like, you feel the energy, you feel the raw live sound, and you know that they're true. As long as they're, my biggest criticism is metal nowadays is it kind of seems really lackadaisical and kind of like, you know, more for the show rather than the feeling. And we've always been a band that's been about like the raw, gritty, just realness of metal. That's what metal's all about. It's a form of expression. And if you're just kind of going through the motions and it's fake and you're doing it because it's cool or trendy at the moment, because that's not what it's about.
Yeah, I have to highly agree with you there. If you are just there to listen to metal and play metal because it's a trend, then they should definitely F off. But in February, you guys released The Devil's Messengers on Century Media, and I must say that is a great album. It's very heavy and very gritty and dirty, and how proud of you are this album? How excited are you that this album finally came out?
Dude, I'm so excited for it to finally be out, and people are, you know, hearing it and absorbing it, and we're extremely proud of it, you know. We worked really hard on it. We definitely put our heart and soul into it, blood, sweat, and tears, all that, and you will never expect less than that from us. You know, we're always going to put everything we have into whatever record we write. You know, I'm already, you know, anxious to write the next record. You know, we're itching. We're always wanting to write, and, you know, we've got some great ideas. So, Devil's Messenger, extremely proud of it. And we're going to keep pushing it hard, and we're just that much more anxious to release the new material and show people that much more what this band's about.
And with the release of The Devil's Messengers, have you guys seen more people coming out to the shows and singing along with you guys in the songs and enjoying the show more?
Absolutely. For the first time now, we're really starting to see for the first time people coming out to shows and singing along, and that's awesome. That's, I mean, that's just a great feeling, you know, because you sit in your room, you write lyrics, and you want them to be the best they can be, and, you know, you put a lot of focus into them, and then when you come to a show and start seeing people, you know, singing along and all that, and so, yeah, definitely, people are coming out and singing along, and I can tell that they have the record or they've heard certain songs and they're into it, and that's a really good feeling. And as small as it may be at this point, I'm watching it grow every night, and I'm watching more and more people know the songs and learn them and be part of what we're doing and being up front, and it's just a great feeling. It's showing that it's moving in the right direction.
All right, we'll be right back with some more with Greg of The Devastated, and here's some more music here on Pyrophoric Radio. I'm here with Greg of The Devastated, and I'm Brutal Mike, if you did not know that already. But Greg, how did you guys begin the recording of Devil's Messengers?
The writing process with this was a lot of laid-back jamming at first. Just a lot of jamming together, and just not too focused on the song structures at first. Just let's jam, let's fill it out, because we're all about groove and feeling. You know, we don't like to force things, even when it comes to writing songs. But so we usually jam out, and, you know, we'd record those sessions, and we finally would get together and we'd take the parts that we really liked, and we would form those parts into songs. And then from there, you know, we'd fill out the songs and make sure everything was very fluid and moving, because, you know, that's what it's all about. We consider ourselves, you know, we get looped into the deathcore genre, and that's cool. People can loop us into whatever the song we do, but at the same time, we consider ourselves just like a heavy groove band. We're more influenced by, you know, White Zombie and Pantera and the old West Isher. You know, we are more about, you know, fluidity and music and moving and moving and grooving, just the flow of the music. So we spend a lot of time once it comes to, you know, we've jammed, we've came up with the ideas. Once we start developing them, it's way more, you know, I don't know. Sorry, I'm super ADD, so the minute Manny walks up and looks at me, get off me! I'm gonna interview. Look at it, I was doing good until now. Funky ass, striped shirt having ass, funky ass. That's my beard. Shit, beard. Out of here.
All right, and all right. Well, anyway, tell Manny to go away. But anyway, you guys just made me lose track of what I was thinking. All right, now I remember. So, like I was mentioning before, you guys have this really grimy, dirty, heavy tone to your music. But what kind of bands have influenced you to come up with this kind of sound and the kind of lyrics? And everything overall for this band, what has influenced you guys?
Nowadays, I listen to heavy stuff. I mean, I like really, and like you said, kind of that grimy, like abrasive. Like I'm really into this band Rotten Sound. I DM and they got Firth Museum. They're kind of grindcore, but they kind of like they groove really hard sometimes too. I like really doomy, sludgy stuff. Like I grew up listening to a lot of bands from New Orleans. I grew up listening to Crowbar, obviously, I Hate God. You know, Iron Monkey from the UK. I like really doomy, nasty stuff because, you know, like I said earlier when we were talking, is I want to feel it. Like, I don't give up about a guitar player shredding away and playing the most technical-ish silver because that's not what metal's ever been about to me. Metal's been about expression, and so you could play the simple-ish, but if, like, I can feel where you're coming from, then that's what it's all about. So I listen to stuff that I can personally feel, whether or not the technicality's there, musicianship-wise or not. That's not what appeals to me. I've got really extremely talented musicians in my band, and we can play whatever we want to play, but sometimes we choose to kind of take a step back and simplify things and let it focus on more of the emotion of the music, you know? So I didn't mean to run off on a tangent, but, you know, I tend to listen to stuff that's a little bit grimier, you know, Black Breath and you know, I've always been a Converge fan. You know, stuff like that. Stuff that's just so fucking abrasive and raw that you just feel it. So that's what I listen to.
Alright, well, we'll be right back with some more with Greg of The Devastated if you are just tuning in. But here's some more Devastated for you guys if you like the band here on Paraphoric Radio.